Burns, what's your opinion on the impact of greater tension between Chad and Sudan and its role on the region as a whole?
Well, the Sudan issue with respect to Darfur has been simmering for some time. It has yet to flash up again, but it can very, very quickly, and that is the setting for this rebel march on the capital of Chad, is that if Debay falls, it just re-scrambles all the eggs in that region, and it causes the mission of EUFOR and the UN mission to change dramatically. Let's remember that in February, the United Nations refused to put EUFOR troops in there while that rebel activity was going on. So I agree that their time is right for France to sort of leave the field of play, but I think they're holding a skunk by the tail, frankly. If they let it go, it's going to spray them, and otherwise they'll end up holding the skunk by the tail, which they desperately do not want to do, but I don't think they have a choice, is my opinion. And we'll know very quickly because the rainy season is a month away or less, and military action will be foreclosed when that period starts, for the most part, at any rate.
Well, with my colleague in New York there, I mean, the rainy season has started. In fact, that's the reason why the rebels themselves have not advanced as far as they would otherwise have liked. They've been held back by the rains, held back by the high tides in many of these roads and rivers. So the weather would play a massive part, but more so, it's whether the French can change their mind and support the president. And if they do so, then I'm afraid they themselves will have to take the responsibility that they will have to go all-out war against the rebels who are more than likely backed by Sudan.
Okay, Mr. Burns,
well,
go ahead.
There's not much to say. This play will certainly unfold and unfold very quickly.
Let me continue with you, Mr. Burns. You know, issues like these.
My opinion is that it will the rebels will not be as effective as their tub thumping and drum beating seem to suggest at this point. It's a proxy war, and Sudan will be pressured not to push it too far, not to destabilize Chad to any great degree. They're more embarrassed than anything else by that Omdurman situation a month ago. So I think there is a little bit of a tempest in a teapot here, but we'll certainly know soon.
All right. Let me continue with you, Mr. Burns. You know, issues like these are usually broken down in state relations. But when it comes to the African continent, do you think that things are different? And how important of a role does ethnic sensibility play in the whole equation?
Well, in every country, without exception, there's tribal considerations. For example, the ruling group, the ruling tribe, if you will, the Debay's tribe, is a Zagawa tribe. And it's a very small percent of the 10 million population of Chad. It's 1.5%, 2%. So interest groups do not like one small tribe having control of all those resources. And remember that one has to be mindful that there are oil revenues as a result of recently discovered oil fields in southern Chad, which are transported. The oil is transported through a pipeline through Gabon, through Cameroon, and what happens is that you have all these ethnic groups that simply get all riled up because they're not getting what they think is a fair share of these fruits of royalties and monies that they feel are coming into the hands of the ruling power, the ruling tribe, if you will.
All right, and finally, Mr. Johnson, let's wrap up with you. How do you see the future of the ongoing conflict developing, and any predictions to make?
Well, the predictions are that we're seeing the signs of all-out war. However, the French have a role to play. They can ensure that by staying neutral, which clearly they have to in this situation, we may see it being fanned out. But if they get involved, it can get very messy, very, very messy. And those that will suffer will be the millions and millions of Chadians who themselves are poor, disillusioned. 50% of them are living below the poverty line. A good percentage of them don't have access to electricity, and of course access to water and healthcare is for the very few, very privileged. So really, they themselves will be the ones that will suffer in the long term, and have been doing so for some time.
Unfortunately enough. We are out of time. Michael Burns, founder of Africast, and Io Johnson, African Affairs expert. Gentlemen, thank you for your time and company.